4 rural Illinois hospitals will receive $50,000 in federal grants. The grants to La Harpe Hospital, Massac Memorial, Perry Memorial, and Union County Hospital in Anna will help them expand services for primary care, the elderly, and emergency response. Union County Hospital will use its grant to start a new home-based emergency response system. The system will allow a person living alone or far away to contact the hospital quickly. People in Alexander, Johnson, and Pulaski counties will also be able to use the system. Now turning over to sports, I guess Saluki football just can't do anything this season, can they?
Kathy, they're a better football team, I guarantee you, than their record indicates, however. You'd be hard-pressed to find a team that lost a tougher game than the Saluki football team lost Saturday against Arkansas State. Southern dug itself an early hole in this one as Indian quarterback Roy Johnson just simply ran wild. On the option here, watch the move he puts on Ron Kirk. It was his second of 3 touchdowns on the game, and it gave ASU a 21-7 halftime lead. But Southern would come back firing in the second half behind the arm of backup quarterback Scotty Gabbert. Gabbert, subbing for the injured starter Fred Gibson, set Saluki records for passing attempts and completions in a game, and he fell just 14 yards short of Jim Hart's record for yardage in a game as he was 28 of 55 for 343 yards. In all, 12 different receivers caught at least one pass as SIU threw on practically every down. Southern took its only lead of the ballgame on this play, a pass to Wesley Yates. Wes bobbles it a little bit, but he hangs on. SIU leads 23-21. Now, controversy plagued Arkansas State's drive for the winning score. They tried the old fumble-rooski or guard-around play to get into scoring position, but a closer look shows that guard Ken Nelson was clearly touching the ground with his right knee as he picked the ball up. But the umpire, whose job it is to watch the line, missed it, and SIU got the yardage. It set up Johnson's winning jaunt as Arkansas State wins it 28-23. Southern loses its second in a row on the road.
It's bad enough when they beat you with a big play legit, but when they beat you with a trick play that should have been null and void because the guy was on his knee, that's just a shame for the kids.
In addition to Gabbert, senior wide receiver Wesley Yates was a huge bright spot for Southern. He caught 7 balls for 117 yards on the evening, and he even scored a touchdown. Wesley Yates.
Great gutty catches. He did get blasted a few times and hung on to the ball, and he made a couple circus catches too. He had a super ball game.
Fall to 1-4 with that loss. Next week they travel to DeKalb to take on Division I opponent Northern Illinois. Nothing has changed atop the Associated Press Top 20 college football poll as they have all season. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish hold down the top spot. Miami of Florida continues to stand second. Colorado moves up to third while Nebraska and Michigan round out the top 5. Tennessee heads up the second 5 with Arkansas and Pitt right behind. Southern Cal and West Virginia are tied for the 9th position. Tonight's Monday Night Football matchup featured a rematch of last season's Fog Bowl. You remember that game in Chicago Soldier Field, that NFC playoff game which nobody saw. Well, this year both teams bring in explosive offenses. Each team has averaged 34 points per outing through 3 weeks, and tonight Chicago leads Philadelphia 13-0, and that game is in the 3rd quarter. With 300 victories on the line, Nolan Ryan confirmed today that he'll pitch again next season for the Texas Rangers. Baseball's all-time strikeout leader says his family played a big part in the decision by encouraging him to continue.
It really hinged, I think, on the 2 things of how my family adjusted to being away from home, and also physically how I held up, and both of them my family really enjoyed it, and we're looking forward to coming back next year.
And Bob and Kathy, the playoffs start tomorrow. The American League Championship Series opens up.
We'll hope those Saluki umpires can get their act together before next weekend. Thanks a lot, Kyle.
Coming up, cooler nights are ahead, and Bob will have a look at the forecast.
And 2 legends of entertainment take to the stage. Stay with us as the Night Report continues. Marion residents had a chance tonight to voice their opinions in the proposed Marion Lake. SIU Night Report's Doug Bisbee was there and has this report.
Putting facts out.
The debate in Marion on whether or not to build a new lake continued on tonight. A small group of Marion residents are opposed to the building of the new lake, stating that the city has other choices besides building the proposed $7 million new drinking water source. George Clark, the group's spokesman, wants to know what the city proposes to do.
I'm not here trying to oppose a project that may make this community a better place to live. My intent was just to ask a few questions, open it to the public, let's get the public involved, and let's know the direction.
One of the main concerns of Marion residents is the potential purity of the new drinking water source. But Marion Mayor Robert Butler says that there is no problem with that area.
You didn't have, if we hadn't had tests run on the water, the mere fact that fish of this kind, this species, could live and propagate in that creek would indicate that it's got to be pretty dadgum good water.
In Marion, for the SIU Night Report, I'm Doug Bisbee.
It's the first Monday in October, and that means the U.S. Supreme Court goes back into session. The High Court will review a lot of controversial cases this term, beginning with abortion rights, the right to die, and religion in public schools. The court will decide whether a federal law is unfair to coal miners who contract the respiratory disease black lung.
Taking a look at the weather forecast, it's been really nice the past few days, except for at night it cools down, so we have a little bit of good sleeping weather. It looks like it's going to continue that way, but we may lose the sun. Let's take a look at the current conditions. Currently in Carbondale, the temperature is 61 degrees. The skies are clear and the humidity is at 68%. The winds are out of the northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. The barometer is at 30.10 and is rising at this hour. We've had no rain today. Taking a look at the area temperatures, St. Louis is in at 60 degrees, Cape Girardeau reports 64, Evansville's at 65, Paducah is 67, Marion 65, and Carbondale 61. Taking a look at the extended forecast for this week, it looks like we're going to continue to have temperatures right around the 60s during the day with cloudy skies, and then at nighttime it's going to dip down into the 40s. And that's going to continue throughout the week, and it looks like we could get a little bit of rain around Sunday time, Kathy. So it looks like throughout the week we're going to continue to have good sleeping weather, but it's going to be jeans weather during the day pretty much.
That's fine for me. Good news.
Tonight we're going to leave you with some sights and sounds of two legends of entertainment. On stage they were for the first time, Bob Hope and George Burns.
Traveling gunshot. Bob, 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 Bob. Shaza doesn't think I'm a lesbian.